And you're live, so just tweeting this. Link should be fine. Okay, cool. And you're live, so just tweeting this. Link should be fine. Okay, cool. And you're live, so just tweeting this. Link should be fine. Okay, so I realized there was an echoing issue. Okay. And you're live, so just tweeting this. This is fun. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is the goals for today. We're basically going to create a chat with Grok. Basically, we're going to make an AI agent with Grok. Okay, so I just wrote this as a guide to help. Let me fix this. Let me just fix this one time. Yeah, let me mute myself because it keeps echoing, and that's not the experience we want. So let's just say now is when the stream starts. So basically the steps are simple. We're going to create a simple chat with Grok first just to see how it works. Then we're going to add some tooling capability. And this part is the agent part. And then perhaps we're going to add a nice front end for it. Okay. Of course, you can ask any questions in the chat. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Hopefully I can be heard well. So the resources I'll be using are basically Grok. So they have like this simple guide by sort of understandable, but there's also this tutorial by a very good programmer called Thorsten Ball, and I think it's what inspired me to give it a try. Japo yeye aliandika with Golang. And for this one, I will be using Python. And the reason I'm using Python is because I'm preparing a workshop for like a Python event, and I want them to create this agent. Yeah. So tuanze na figuring out how to use this. I do know there's a Grok Python application, nini library I mean. So Grok library Python. Also, I think I should do this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so for this one, let me go to my Python projects, create a folder, agents, EPO, okay. Agents, create a virtual environment. Clear, then we're just going to copy this. Cool. So you must have the API keys from Grok. The reason I'm using Grok is because it's really cheap compared to like Anthropic. I don't know, Akika, if I use Cloud or if I use Cloud for this thing, it's going to eat at least $20 or something. but Grok is affordable. You want to compare prices? Yeah, it is very reasonable. So for this one, for tooling specifically, I think these are the models which you can use. So like let's say this one, versatile. Ukija hapa, where is it? Hapa. So basically it's 50 cents for like a million tokens. For $1 you get like 1.69 million tokens, which is more than enough actually. Yeah, so that's the reason. But for cloud pricing is crazy. I think it's $15 for per million tokens, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so Opus 4 is $15. Nahi Sonat is $3, but Grok is way cheaper. Okay, so I installed this. Let me give it a try. Just sign up, you just get an API key. It's pretty straightforward, which I do have. So I'll just vi main.py and it should be fine. So labda ni modify kidogo hapa. Just write message equals to input your input like that. By the way, kama hamnisikii vizuri, just inform me. And then message is over here. Okay. So Python main.py. Hello, long time no see. Hello, it's great to hear from you again, even if it has been a while. How have you been? What's in your life? Okay, cool. So this basically works. The more interesting part ni hii masala ya tooling. So before we go to this tutorial, perhaps you can see what they say. Okay. So how the tooling works, they provided this example model. They provided here messages. What is the weather in Boston like? And the tools. Okay, so you provide like a function and which has the name, description, and the parameters. It's sort of like the open API schema. I do remember them using like yeah. Okay, so there is a tutorial here, right? So I'll just copy this as is and then paste it. Okay. Comment that out for now. This one we don't need it. Okay. So define, calculate. Okay, I have to import JSON. And over here, accept as exception. Accept exception as E. Okay, that works actually. Okay, so this is a simple thing, right? So we basically provide an expression, okay? Then you use Python's eval function to evaluate it, right? So Python has something cool, just to demonstrate. For those who don't know Python, you can type something like, okay, string equals to maybe x plus, no, 2 times 34 plus whatever, right? So this is technically a string, right? And then if you do type s, it is a string, but you can use eval and then it will calculate it. So it will try, evaluate it. And if you try do something like this and then evaluate the same function again, you're going to get an error. Yeah, so basically that's what we're using for calculating. Okay, so this is the function. And the next step is basically running the conversation, right? So now I'll define our calculate tool within the array of available tools and call our grok API, stuff like that. You can read more about schema, tool support, about tool schema and support is required, and optional fields above in tool specifications. Tool specifications is think to make it any hapa, right? OpenAI compatible. So like ChatGPT and stuff. Yeah, though I don't think we really have to get into details for this, right? So our best way is just to use examples. Then we're going to run the conversation. So here, run conversation, use a prompt. Then we're going to define the tools. Okay, so let me just copy this as is. Okay. So here, this function basically accepts a user prompt, right? And then there's the messages. Of course, there's the role system. And over here, we define the system prompt. And then below is where we provide the user prompt. And the tools, this is basically a list of dictionaries. And this dictionary is formatted like this. So I think this is basically standard, right? So type function, the name of it is called calculate. Welcome Kim Jisena, awesome programmer. Karibuni sana. So yeah, so basically this function is calculates, evaluates the expression, and provides an answer, right? And over here we have this thing. The parameters are the type, which is it's an object type. Properties of the object is a string. And then what are required is this field of expression. And the response, basically in a library, grok, we create the model. The model is what we defined, so yeah, which is this one. The messages, okay, so you can actually provide a history of messages. Where does it get it? Oh, messages ni hapa, fine. Conversation history. Stream false. Okay, stream, so basically it's like streaming ni kama ile ChatGPT, whereby whenever you send a message and then it just sends it, like keeps updating. So yeah, but if it's false, then it just sends all the response at once, and that's what we want actually. The tools is basically the list of available tools. So now we only have this one equal calculate, and the tool choice. Okay, so we can let the LLM decide whatever is listed here and use appropriately. So yeah, and the max number of tokens. And the response message, tunachukua hapa, tool calls. Okay, so what's this exactly? For some reason I cannot go to this definition. Let's see, if I come here, this works. So let's see, tool calls. Can't find the actual one we want. So we're ready to. Okay. Tool calls if. Okay, so basically I think this is like a boolean, right? It will show if it's using tool calls or not, if it's using a tool or not. Available functions to provide the function that you created. Messages, append, response message. So in the conversation history, so you're basically attaching the response from the LLM to the list of messages. Fine, that's fine. For tool call in tool calls, okay, so this is basically a list. Function name is tool call function name. I really wish I could see like what's the content of these things, but yeah. Function to call available functions, function args. Function response, function to call, then tool response, function name. Okay, seems fine, but I really wish it gave us more control. So here, wait. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let me just put input your code, and then let's run this. Your code, so I can ask it like, what is the value of 23 times 100 times 0 divided by 300? We expect the answer to be 0, right? Yeah, which actually works, is 0.0. This is because any number multiplied by 0 results in 0. Okay, so this does work. Interesting. Okay, so far it will copy to not paste examples provided. Routing system, if you use our models fine-tuned for tool use, we recommend to use them as part of a routing system. Okay, since I haven't really fine-tuned anything, I'll just leave this as is. Okay, parallel tool use, we learned about tool use and built a singleton use example above. Now let's take tool use a step further and imagine a workflow where multiple tools can be called simultaneously, enabling more efficient, effective responses. This concept is known as parallel tool use. And is key for building agentic workflows that can deal with complex queries, which is a great example. Yeah, inference speed becomes increasingly important. Okay, so basically you can use multiple you can call basically multiple functions. Okay, so whenever they say tools, just know it's functions, right? And then I think this is also how MCPs are made. So it all boils down, you're giving the AI the ability to call a function, and that's it. So take tuma to the function, you format it in a way which is understandable, right? Then it will just execute that function and give you a response. So I feel like that's basically the magic behind the MCP and all these other fancy words. Okay, so I'll just copy this again and we can give it a try. So this one, since this is like a simple single example, just running one conversation, we want to use this, and then we'll just paste this as is. We have already imported this, already defined it, and fine. So we have two functions, or two tools basically. Basically it gets temperature and this one gets weather. So they're basically mocking, but ideally you can even like make API calls and stuff, I think. Can it make API calls? We'll test it. Messages, more or less the same, is basically a list of messages with role either as the system, user, or like the AI responses, or the tool response. The tools, we define them. So we have the get temperature and get weather condition, right? So if we ask for get weather, we expect the response to be like one of these, right? New York, 22 degrees, London, blah, blah, blah. If it's conditions, Then New York, it's sunny. London is rainy and stuff. So we can basically ask like, what's the weather condition in New York, or something like that. And then response here, it's more or less the same. Available functions is more or less the same. The tooling tools, we call each function. So far, it's more or less the same thing we did before, right? Wait. For tool call in tool calls, function name ni hile pale, function to call. So basically it's the same thing. So yeah, except that since we're going to be calling maybe twice or something, then it's just going to append both tool responses. Here, where is the user prompt? They provide like a user prompt or something. Ah, okay. So the user message, the message is actually here. What's the weather and temperature like in New York and London? Okay, so for this one, I don't want it to be like this. I'll perhaps put message content equals to input. We provide the question, okay? So your code, your query, and then whatever we ask is what we provide over here. Message content. Cool. It's Python.py query. What is the weather like in New York? And how hot is it in Tokyo? Interesting. The message response is none. Okay. Okay, let's see. What if I left the message as is? I undo that. The weather in New York is sunny with a temperature of 22 degrees. The London is rainy. So it has to be like this? Wait. That is a bit odd. What is the weather like? Let's give it a try again. How hot is it? What is the temperature in New York? In New York. Okay, so let me ask again. What is the temperature in New York and in Tokyo? Oh, okay. So now it does respond. What are the weather conditions in Tokyo and London? Okay, so I think maybe it was a network issue or something, because now it does work fine. Cool. So basically what this shows is you can append multiple tools and they can all work at the same time. Awesome. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, what kind of tools do I want to make? So basically, what functions do I want, right? Let's see. So perhaps I can add a function to call the calculator, right? So over here, let me just copy this as is. Yank it. Here we call it call application. Description. Okay, so call calculator application. And over here, description, you will start the calculator app. Object string the calculator app. Start, and here it's name. Okay, so over here, I guess. Okay, let's just keep it simple and see its capabilities. So I think I also have to create functions for it. So I'll just paste this. Actually, there's no need for that. Define call calculator. Provide a string, I guess. Then we can say return os.exec. Execute. Which function is that? Because sometimes I do mix Go and Python. How do you run an app in Python? Oh, it's the system. Let me just check here. Execute command Python. Okay, import subprocess and then subprocess.run. Cool. So over here, import subprocess subprocess.run name. Okay, so I'll provide the name of the application, right? This is a bit risky. What if I want to run it in the background? Subprocess run background. PO open. Okay, so we'll do this P open. Okay, so I think what we should actually do is do this and then return successful. Cool. And over here, start calculate, I guess. Calculate, call calculator. And function. All right. So python.py, start the calc app, kcalc app. Function to call calculate application. Oh, okay. So I actually have to do, okay, makes sense. Actually, I shouldn't call it calculator since it's the way I wrote it is more generic, right? So instead, let me just say start app, right? Start app, and then calculator, start app, start the app, the app to start, required name. Start app, startup, right? Cool. So now if I run this, start the kcalc app. Nice, it did. Cool, cool, cool. So what if I want to start something, say kwrite? Start the kwrite app. And it opened. That's awesome. Nice. So this thing is very powerful actually. This is really, really cool. Okay. So now let me just make okay. So I had a case whereby like I had to upgrade some packages in like a large microservice system. Okay, so basically I had to go to every requirements.txt file and update that specific package. So I think I could create, for example, an agent that could have done that for me, right? So basically just check the folders and subfolders, perhaps just grab the requirements.txt file and then modify it. So yeah, so maybe we can do that. Define, okay, so what exactly would I need for that? Yeah, I don't trust it with deleting stuff yet, but creating, editing, reading should be fine. Okay, so the process to do that nadhani, so basically nahitaji kwanza kugrep, si ndio? Actually, I think the first thing is to list the files, right? But to list them intelligently, si ndio? So maybe use something like find or fd, si ndio? Fd, find the files in a specific path, in a path, si ndio? And once I get those files, I will modify them one by one. So yeah, find the path and then modify it accordingly. Yeah, so let's try with that. So, yeah. So the original Python, the original Unix tool to do that is called find dash help, this one. But there is a much cooler one written in Rust called fd, and yeah, it's like really, really fast. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so as you can see, it just went through all my folder instantly. And I think it has more sensible defaults. So yeah, so we start with that one, find, and then we collect the output, and then one by one we modify. So there. So all right, let's do that. Find files in a path which match particular names in there. So like for example, my case would have been like requirements.txt file, and then updating or upgrading the packages. Cool. Karibu undetectable. So basically I'm making like an AI agent and I'm just playing around with its capabilities. So far what we can do is we can get the temperature, we can start an application. Actually, speaking about the temperature, I'm not sure if you can actually make API calls. So let's see, let's try do that. Okay. Free weather API Python. There's probably a package for that already. So yeah, I knew it. Cool. Pip install Python weather. Okay, seems cool. So let me just install this one time. Yeah, pull Python weather, and then let's copy the example. So mimi nachokitaka tu is basically this. Is this an async function? Can't I just like Python weather.get? So instead of this one, comment it out, upon import Python weather. And then over here, I'll say Python weather dot get. Client get. Can I get it for me? Okay, let's see to this definition. Client Enrico Hapa. So it's a client, it's a class. And yes, it is async. Okay, so let's see, can I do this? Can I make async functions with the grok? So here I probably need to import async IO, I guess. Async IO. And then for this one, can't I do something like this? Get. Okay, let's see. Let's try this. New York. Actually, why struggle? Import Python weather. Python weather. To get New York. Client of UI, so it has a class client. Human will replace AI. Wait, isn't it the other way around? Okay. Actually, I forgot. This should be here. Weather, just in case it's empty, right? Return weather. And over here, I'll just tell it this is inside an function. Not really what I want. Okay. But thank you for guiding me a bit. So here I can just say async IO. No. Async IO dot run. Okay, cool. And this one, it will just be the location itself, right? Now this should work. Actually, will it work? Let's see. Client is this one. Oh. Not running an event loop. What did I paste exactly? Okay, so how about yeah, it does seem that Python async is beating me. Okay, getting what's that exactly? Not running event loop. getting out. I also get notifications from work. Yeah, I don't think this is allowed here. Okay, so let me just write Python weather not in async. Turn out that. Okay, what does this do underline? Where does this get its URL from? I think that will just simplify things much. So HTTP errors forecast news locale base customizable base. Get here. What is the URL? Subdomain. What is subdomain? Local value. Okay. Code plus string safe encoding none. Oh, okay. So basically you can just make a request to this one, make life easier. Okay, so over here I'll just import requests. I think it's installed. Okay, exit, hit freeze. Yeah, it should be there. Wait. Okay. Okay. Cool. So we can just do this. Have the error weather equals to this one. Actually, I think I should just wait a minute. Go back. What is locale? And assume company English, but it could be something else. English as in EN. Okay, subdomain locale value. Locale.value. What is locale.value? Oh, so it will just be empty. Okay, so this is empty. Request.get. Yeah, I know what I'll be putting. Should be safe enough. And we don't need this anymore. So yeah, just close this. So actually I can just test this first. Python import requests. Okay. So the location itself should be like, let's say, Yuck, right? And then I need to save the response. So content. Okay. So content response.json. Okay, it's formatted. Can I just get the temperature itself? Okay, error temperature. Okay, so what did the library do? How do they format the response? Okay, so you got local population, location, country, date, time, coordinates. Where is the temperature? Current condition. Yeah, I should just be able to see it from here. Just take anything. Current conditions. This is the list. Feels like 25. Oh, okay. So current condition, then it's a list. 0. Cool. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. Just undo this over here. So whether actually, so here I should just write response. And then if response dot status code not equal to 200, we return couldn't fetch the weather. Otherwise, you'll say weather is equal to response.json, and then what was it? Current condition feels like okay. Current condition. So it's a list, first item, and then feels like C. Feels like C. Okay. Cool. So Python. Okay, get temperature. Get temperature for. Wait, did we hard code a location? No. So over here, location equals to location dot replace. So we want to replace instances of empty spaces with a plus. And then over here, we're going to location. So it's going to be an f string. Python.py get location dar sm. Okay, fair enough. So let's just print the response.content. Get location of Dar es Salaam in, yeah. Oh, I actually wrote get location instead of get temperature. Get temperature in Dar es Salaam. Nice, so it works. Okay, so let me just clean this so I don't need it anymore. Then just confirm it one more time. Get temperature in, let's say, in Bear. Cool, it is cold over there. Okay, so it actually can make API calls. This is nice. This is very nice. So since it's actually making this request in my computer, it makes sense. There's nothing stopping it from accessing the internet. So there are actually no limitations. Yeah, Sodium, the Inspirer, for sure. Glad to have you here. Okay, so far we can get temperature, get weather, start an application. Yeah, so I want to add functionalities to, like, manipulate files and stuff. Okay, so let me do that. So the first thing I need to do is for it to be able to, like, grep or search. So let's just say search files, right? And then we give it a path, which is a string, and file name. Makes sense, right? And then from here, what we want it to do is, okay. So for the path, we can default to the current path we're in, right? So do this, and then put it as a dot, I guess, like this. Cool. Yeah. So I wanted to call this command subprocess dot what was it? Dot run fd okay, so what's the command exactly? Fd, then you give it a path, right? And then you give it a file name. So, like, let's say requirements. Oh, okay, so it's the other way. So so you start with the file name and then the path where you're searching from. Cool. And then it will provide output, right? Which is like this for it will be every new line. Cool. So okay, so already can do this. Fd and then the file name and then the path. Awesome. So here I'll save output. It goes to this one. Okay, so let's see. Does it print the output as is? Let's see. Clear. So from main import, what do you call it? Search files. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, search files name. Okay, so here file names, the first one, requirements.txt, and we don't give it a path. Oh, okay. So I assumed the way this runs is like, oh, I should stop making that assumption. So here, this is just like one string. F file name, cool. So exit. Okay. Okay, then such files this. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, I think I should modify that. Get temp of the SLM. Okay, and then now we can search files. Weird. File not found, error, no such file or directory, fd requirements.txt. How do you run? What's okay? Wait. Run command with arguments and return a complete process instance. Okay, let me just search how to use subprocess. How to use processes. Python. Okay, cool. Examples. Okay, so I think okay, so it's basically a list. Cool. So what it should be is like this. But these aren't string, these actual values. Okay. So let me just stop this annoying query. Input. Let me just comment out everything for now. Search files, requirements. Okay, so what is this? Okay. I think I know what's going on. So this, I made the wrong assumption again. I should really just be reading the documentation, but I'm not sure why I'm not. Okay. Okay. Let's see. This is weird, very, very weird. FD, this. Okay, perhaps output dot split new line. Then we print this out. Okay. Just so we can see. Completed process has... Okay, how do I capture the output? I thought this captures the output. Isn't this a string? Yeah, it is a string. So doesn't a string... str... Oh wait, okay. Do this and then append it here. Yep. Okay, this should work. Okay. So for I and this, print I. Is it giving me what I want? No, it's not. This is giving me a lot of data which I don't want. Okay, let's try something simple, right? Instead of doing this, print output. This one just copy, comment this one out. Help. Okay, so it still does the same thing. But if I do fd dash dash help, something else. So what if I just disable all these additional options? Okay, now we get what you want. Okay, so just undo all of this. And then just comment out these options. Should have known. Exit, clear. print output. Complete the process. But if I replace this with dash dash help, okay, so that is always there. Interesting. Okay, let's see if this can help me. I want to print the fetched the output, but I'm getting the response. Instead, oh, okay, thank you. Should be using AI more often. Why standard out empty then? Hmm. What if I did something like this? Documents. What? Python projects. Python agents. Empty still. And if I do this, perhaps I misunderstood how this works. Again. That should be like that. Okay, let me remove path. Don't tell me I mistyped. V and V. So you're telling me this whole time I mistyped. Mm, okay, it seems to work well now. Okay, it's cool. So let me just add this here, and let's see. Nice. Okay, so it does work. Okay, so that was a waste of time. So let's see. So I want it in a form of a list. So let's see again. .std out. Nice. Cool. So basically, we already have the list of the files, right? So we can say this works. So basically, okay, do I need to add this str, or will it detect it automatically? Okay. So I think it should work. Okay, it works. So here we're basically just going to return this. Return the output as a list. Cool. So we have the search file one, and then we're going to have to do the perhaps edit, right? So just to make things cheaper, we can sed. Okay, so in Linux there's this command called sed, whereby it's like a find and replace. Sed command. Command is one of the most powerful used in process of text processing Linux Unix. Replace and search, okay, and string manipulation. So it's pretty useful. I edit the file in place without printing it to the console. Suppress automatic printings of line. -E allows multiple commands to be executed. Cool. So we have, for example, they have this one as an example, right? And then so search Unix, Linux. So basically these three places. Nice. Okay, okay. So I think probably something like this globally, right? Yeah. So I'm just thinking of my use case of like upgrading packages. So, but that doesn't really make sense. Okay, so first we find the file, right? And then we want to actually find the line. So we grep, right? Yeah, so first grep, and then from there, that's when you can actually replace it. Cool. So let me just add this. Def grep. So we need the path, right? This will be mandatory. And then the content. So basically same thing. I can just copy this and paste it. So here it will be grep, and then no, actually it should be cat file name, right? So this is actually the path with the file name. File name. Then we pipe it first. And then grep the exact line. Grep content. So let's print output dot std out. Cool. So let's see. Let me, as an example, cat this. AIO HTTP. Doesn't this have requirements? Okay, let me just say help us. Okay, let's say we will grab this string, pass HTTP date. Cool. So Python. So now actually I'm just going to put grep. So the file path is the first one. And the second one is this. Yeah, so this just printed everything. doesn't pipe correctly. Output is everything. Content. Okay. Where would I be without cloud? This doesn't work. Oh, it wasn't this. It was this alpha. Pass HTTP date. Okay, so that works. So now I want to replace it. So I can actually rename this to replace. File name old content, and then new content. I should actually just separate the functionalities. Okay, never mind. Let me just separate the functionalities. So create a new tool, replace, so old content, str, new content, str. Then what do I do? I will probably use sed, right? So output equals to sub process dot run sed, and then as, so this is this one. So let me just copy this. And then the file name. Capture output equals to true, text equals to true. File name str. Print output.std out. So for this one, I think just so I can easily see it, I'll just say demo.text touch demo.text, then echo hello there, replace me. demo text. Okay, okay, the new line didn't actually work. Cool. So, Python, then I'll just import replace. So I'll replace me plus, and the file is demo txt. Oh, okay. Yeah, it should be old content. New content and F. Silly me. Did not work yet. Wait. Yes. Does this work if I did this? Instead, me as the demo text. This one works. What's the silly mistake here? Oh, so why doesn't it actually save to the file? Oh, so do I have to echo it again? So text. Yikes. Perhaps append. Huh. Okay, so I wanted to actually, so hapa ni kucheza tunayo said, right? So let me just use it to help. So I wanted to replace and save it without changing anything else. Need to replace and save the file without changing anything else. So I have to append an I, okay. and just see. Okay, load file. Nice. Okay, so this is what we want, and it works as expected. So Python. So here I'll just put me instead, us. Nice. And then if I did this, nice. Okay, so it changes it as expected. Cool. So now I just need to incorporate the AI into this, right? So I give it a list of files and then I tell it. So like, let's say, I'll create a subdirectory and I just say project, and then I'll say a requirements.txt, and then b requirements.txt, and then also project C requirements, requirements.txt. Cool. And then over here, just write random libraries, but include request version 2.0. Cool. Then I'll do the same here. Then I'll do the same here. Okay, so all of these have request 2.0.0, right? So what I'll do is, I think I should uncomment all of this. And then okay, so search files, grep, replace. Two, three. Replace grep, and then the last one is search files. Cool. So over here, what are we doing? So for search files, we have the file name and path, though path is optional. Second is file name and content, right? And then the third one is replace all content, new content, file name. All of them being mandatory. File name, the file to search, and then the second one is path, the path to search. Here file name is the only one which is mandatory. Grep use to get specific content in the file. Here the description is use it to search files. For grep need alt content to look for and the file name, which I'll just copy from here. File to read from. Here both are required. File name is required. Content is required. Then replace use it to search. No, actually use it to replace. Damn it. Replace content in a file. Okay. So alt content, the old content to replace. New to write to save, and I think we also need the file name. To replace which the contents file which the operation will be done on. So here file name old content, new content. Cool. So let me just make sure they blunder up. File name path, file name content, alt content, new content, file name. Okay, seems good. Did I okay, replace grep. Okay, seems good. Replace grep search files. Cool. So yeah. So Python main.py. So there is a folder called project in the current directory with sub-projects. Search the requirements text file of each sub-project and replace and upgrade the request.txt no the request library to version 2.05 2.5 actually 0. Okay, let's see. Okay, that was really fast. Oh, okay, I see. So it thought that, okay, I need to give it a tool to list directories. Makes sense. Yeah, I think I should give it that tool. Okay, so just do this, define list directory. Output equals to, okay, also I'm not returning the content. Dang it. So return output dot this one dot split. How should I divide it? Search files, it does return. Grep. Okay. Replace. Return success. Obviously, this is just lazy doing. As in, okay, I should be handling errors and stuff. I'll just assume that this succeeded, because either way it will just crash. List directory output equals to sub process dot run ls, right? And then, yeah, capture output equals to true, text equals to true. Now, okay, I'm not sure what's the best way to return it, but I'll just return it as a list also. No, I think I should just return it like this. Here, just do that. Returns a list of files. Okay, let me just do that, add more explanation, right? So it will return a list of files, and over here it will return a list of files with the grep content. Cool. replace return success if true. It will return success if true, if successful. Will return success if successful. And finally, I'm adding this okay, what did I make? What did I mess up? Oh, okay. So here, okay, that list directory. Use it to list contents of the current directory. Actually, it makes sense to give it a path, right? Path like that. Path, the path to list from. Cool. Just to make sure. Okay. Path list directory. List directory. Cool. Yeah, shit, should have copied my query. Either way, in the current, there is a folder called projects in the current directory. Inside this folder, there are other subfolders. Actually, I don't think I should do that. I should just say find all requirements.txt files in this folder and upgrade the requests requests package from 2.0.0 to, let's see, 2.5.0. Okay, let's see. Error. I think I need to be more specific with my request. Okay, let me just use this and modify it a bit. It has several subfolders. several subfolders. Use the list directory to see them. Find all requirements of .txt files. This folder using the search files tool. Okay, so let's try this. Paste. Why is it searching? Okay, so I have to tell it. It has several subfolders. Use the list directory tool to list them. Each subfolder has a requirements.txt file. Control Z. Okay. Huh. Perhaps I need to give it like a step-on-step guide, right? So I want to upgrade requests package from version to version 2.5.0. Achieve this by first. Okay, let's number it for, let me number for it. Number the steps for it. The first step is basically search the files. Search files. It's the txt file. Search instances of requirements.txt file using the search files tool. This will give you a list of the paths with requirements, the txt file. Use the grep tool to see if the requirements the txt file has the package requests, and see if it's lower than 2.5.0, 3 if it is lower than 2.5.0, then upgrade the version using the replace tool. Okay, so I also think perhaps it's only calling one function. Let me just confirm here. If I see the examples, are we actually using multiple, right? Final response. Yeah, so I don't think that's the issue. Okay, let's see. Okay, perhaps I made a mistake here. It seems issue inakuja kwenye file name, right? Perhaps this is what's confusing it. So instead of saying file name, I should write file path. The file including its path, e.g., and actually let's give it an example. Project a requirements.txt. Okay, so let's give it a try again. Still insistent. Also realized another error in my logic, but okay, that's fine. File name, all content. Okay, let me just add another argument, file path. Add file path. Cool. Then over here, so this should force it. So file path str. So over here is f file path and file name. So here I should write ending with a slash. Okay. Okay, so over here I should probably add file path. Cool. Can't it read the path to requirements? Seems like it cannot read it, I guess. It seems like it's actually just using the replace one. It's not using anything else. What is the weather temperature in Dar? And what is it like in New York? So it can call multiple tools. So naribu wapi? Seeing the examples, perhaps it's okay. Instead of asking it to replace, let me just first ask it to search list or folders with requirements.txt. None. Interesting. List contents inside project folder. Okay, so something is definitely off. List the contents inside the project folder, which is in the current directory. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, list contents inside the project folder, which is in the current directory, and tell me the version of requests in each of their requirements.txt file. Okay, that's a bit too much. Tell me what is inside projects A folder. Tell me what is in. Oh, okay, I wrote project instead of project. Inside project a folder. Nice. So what can I do? Tell me what is inside project a folder, and if it's requirements.txt, then upgrade it to version 2.0.5. Okay. It actually did that. Ha, cool. So now we're heading somewhere. So I didn't tell what it should upgrade, right? So that's my mistake. Then upgrade requests to version 2.0.5 from 2.0.0. Nice. Okay. So if I come over here, yeah, request has been upgraded. Yeah, finally, after how many hours? 2 hours. Okay, so let's see if we can perhaps automate it more better. Okay, paste, and then do the same if there are different other folders inside the project folder. Okay, let's see. Did it do that? Let's see. This one is upgraded. This one it didn't. This one it didn't. So I feel like there is something missing if there are multiple. I feel like there's something missing, something small. Just don't know what exactly is causing the error. So far, I'm actually proud of how far we went. To 3.0.0 from 2.0.5. Okay, so this one is this one it does work well if it's one folder. I feel like there is an issue if it's calling multiple folders. Okay, wait, so let me do this. A then folder project B, then folder project C. So copy this. This one cancel. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. So now I specified project A, project B, then project C, right? So let's see. Okay. So now I confused it. Perhaps maybe calling it project is confusing it. So let me just call it what? Uh, uh, I don't know. Potatoes, I guess. Okay. So now the folder is called potatoes. Okay. And then I'll say the potatoes folder has 3 subfolders, A, B, and C. Each of them has a requirements txt file. Check if they do. Okay. C file. Upgrade the requests package inside the requirements, inside each requirements.txt file if it is less than version 3.0.0 to version 3.0.0. More realistically, this is what I would ask an AI, right? So no, it's not the best. Hopefully it works. Okay. Done. Got overly excited. Okay. And it worked. Now it has successfully upgraded all 3 folders, right? Did it? No, it did not. This nigga lied to me. What? It lied to me. This guy. Okay. Okay, let me say, instead of saying upgrade, okay, let me just copy from here. It actually lied to us, man. Change the request package. To version 4.0.0. Okay, so I'm not gonna say like anything perhaps that's confusing it, like checking each version first and then upgrading. I'll just tell it to like change all of it to this. So python main.py. Okay, let's see. Requirements.txt. Why is there no such file directory? Did I make a typo? I don't get it. Request potato. Oh, okay. Why is it doing that? It's searching from the main. No. So I say which is in the current directory. Okay, let's try again. Python main.py. Okay, nice. Oh, okay, so it did replace it, but yeah, and I think it's what it said. It's saying that please note all content might need to be adjusted based on the original content of the file. They provided all content will only work if the line is nice. It's actually smart. So it did replace, but I think I need to improve on the logic, right? So here, okay, I'll just set it to this one. Okay, undo this and then undo that, right? And then over here, I'll add from version 2.0.0. Okay. Slight improvements, but yeah. Okay, so this one has upgraded. This one has upgraded, but it did not change the A because A was 3.0.0. So it realized it didn't have to change that one because I did not ask it to change that one. So it's smart. So let me rephrase it a bit. If it's not oh, okay, so I realized I don't think it's actually using the grep tool to check the line. If it's not 4.0.0, okay, if it's less than, use the grep tool to check before replacing. Okay, so since I've explicitly asked it to use it, let's see. First I have to run this. Okay. Now it works. Hopefully. Yes, it works. It works. Nice. Okay, so here I'll say I'll change this to 2, right? 0.1. And then I'll say downgrade it, change the request version to 3.1.2 if it's more than. Okay, so do that. No. Python.py. So now I'm telling it if it's, I'm trying to confuse it now just to see its capabilities, right? So I'm saying if it's more than 4.0.0, then replace it. Otherwise, don't. But technically, yeah, okay, so this one, it changed it. No, I didn't. This one, I didn't change it. This one, I didn't change it. This one, I didn't change it, right? Mm, okay, cool. But it didn't. It's more than do this. Okay, it sort of did what I wanted, but then this explanation is incorrect. Okay, so now it did actually change. And then for this one, which was, but this one was not more than 4. Okay, so it does, but it's really not reliable. Perhaps I need to change the model to make it more reliable. Let's see which models are available. So the one I'm using is this 70B versatile, right? But there's also this one. Okay, let me try the DeepSeek one, right? Okay, model, come down here. Okay, let's see. But since, okay, this one, I want this one to be down. This one and this one. Okay. So I'll copy this prompt again. This is more of a muscle memory thing. Reasoning is not supported with this. Okay, this is entirely different. And I didn't modify or anything. So I guess our best bet is still this one, the versatile model. Because the other models have lower parameters. Either way, I think it can only work reliably if you prompt it as accurate as possible. If the initial version was lower than 3.0.0, it wasn't updated. Is that true? Correct. Correct. But it still replaced this one. I think I'll have to add like more debugging. Just to see what exactly it does, right? But yeah, it's quite interesting. So now I didn't actually upgrade anything. List the files you have upgraded. Proudly it said it upgraded, but it didn't do anything actually. Yeah, it's nice, more of a try and error thing. Okay, either way, I think it was quite interesting. Might continue this sometime in the future, sure. But so far, I have tested enough to just make something interesting for the workshop. So if you guys are interested, I'll probably announce it on Twitter, which I think most of you have since you're here. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I guess.